I have followed from afar as I've been dotting in and out of other meetings, but appreciate all of your time and all your service. Mr. French, I wanted to reiterate what Senator Bennett said. Title I of the Core Act designates 28,000 acres surrounding Camp Hale, and that was a site where the Army's 10th Mountain Division famously trained during World War II, designates it as a national historic landscape, I think one of the first of its kind, if not the first. And it provides for ongoing environmental remediation and restoration of the site, as well as historic preservation, and certainly honors the sacrifice of those World War II veterans. Some of those veterans, by the way, upon their return home, helped create the outdoor recreation industry, the skiing, which you can see in Arapahoe Basin or Breckenridge or even nearby Aspen. Can you talk a little bit about the Forest Service, how it would move forward under this new designation, and how the Forest Service would work to support that existing recreation right around Camp Hale, not necessarily in the resorts, but in that area?
You bet. First, we're excited by the opportunities that it can provide us, and I do believe it would be the first designation of its kind. I think our approach would be, well, really focusing on maintaining the historic preservation of the area, is reaching out with the existing outfitter guides that are there, reaching out with existing users, and working with the public in general on our management plan to ensure that the recreation uses that are there can continue, can expand in areas, and also collaborate with us on the overall management of the area. We're working with some veterans groups right now. We know we need to expand that even further. And so we're actually excited by the approach that we can take on this.
Great. We share that, and I appreciate your enthusiasm and your team's support. Ms. Culver, obviously I'm very proud and excited to have partnered with Senator Bennett on this. He did all the hard work on the Core Act, and I think for all the reasons cited already, the bill delivers critical protections for Colorado's outdoors, at the same time helping to ensure that our multi-billion-dollar-a-year outdoor recreation industry will remain vibrant for years to come. I think the Core Act, in a very real way, is a model of how political engagement should be conducted, and it represents almost a decade of thoughtful engagement with ranchers and hunters and outdoor recreationists, anglers, as well as the county commissioners and so many other local officials. Can you speak briefly about the importance of local support for this bill in terms of driving the administration to support this legislation, which in fact is included in its second ever Statement of Administration policy back in February?
Thank you, Senator Hickenlooper. The way that the on-the-ground work was conducted over the many years for the Core Act has certainly helped illuminate the wide-ranging support for the bill, from recreation to businesses to local governments, all supporting the measures in their counties and often in the broader region. And that certainly has not been lost on the federal land management agencies. And we would agree, seeing this kind of broad support and input into the legislation has been very helpful.
Great, I appreciate it, and certainly it was a team effort. When we list all those people that worked on putting this together, there were a number of federal officials at many levels that rolled up their sleeves and came to meeting after meeting and really helped make it happen. Again, I don't have to tell any of you on this. Mr. French, back to you again. Colorado's Interstate 70, the main east-west connection across our state, it bores under the Continental Divide at what we call Eisenhower Tunnel, which had the unintended consequence of creating really the only high elevation wildlife migration corridor over I-70. We also on State Highway Route 9 to the north between Silverthorne and Kremling, we put in a number of overpasses and underpasses for wildlife there. With great success. Animal vehicle collisions went from 65 per year down to 3. Remarkably successful investment. Title I of the Core Act would protect the corridor as part of Porcupine Gulch Wildlife Conservation Area. That's one of many aspects of the bill that sportsmen and wildlife associates and advocates are very excited about. Can you comment on the importance of wildlife migration corridors and the administration's approach to protecting them?
Sure. When you look at the broad series of migration corridors that stretch all the way from Mexico up through Canada, public lands and our approach in ensuring that there's connectivity and there's similar suitable management approaches that allow for those migration corridors is an area of great importance to the administration. We'll continue to work with our partners at the Department of Interior, with states. I know a number of state fish and wildlife and game and fish departments are all focused on ensuring that these broad-scale corridors remain in place and that they have the type of protections they need, as like you're seeing with the Eisenhower Tunnel area.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you all. I yield back to the chair.